All right, so in the last lesson, we figured out how to create 3D text to display our distance on screen. And we also figured out how to position it so that it's showing just at the point where we place our end point. So in this lesson, we're going to have a look at fixing some of the logical flaws that are in our app. So currently, if you add a third dot, the distance doesn't actually change. And that's because of these two lines here. We created this array called dot nodes that keeps track of the dots on the scene that the user has placed. And every single time there's a new tab, we add another one to this array. But we're only calculating the distance between the 0th and the first element in that array. So no matter how many more dots you add to the scene, you're not going to get a different distance. So to fix this, we're going to add some checking methods. So inside touches began, what we want to do is that if there are two or more nodes inside this dot node array, then we're going to remove all the previous ones and clear the board. And in this case, we're assuming that when the user touches the scene for the third time, that they want to clear the previous measurements and start afresh, right? So to do that, we're going to say if .nodes.count is greater than or equal to 2, then in that case, we're going to loop through the array. So for dot in dot nodes, and we're going to remove each dot in the array from the parent node. So remove from parent node. So this basically takes that 3D node off the scene, and we now have no dots in the scene. So if you tap once, you get one dot. If you tap twice, you get the second dot, as well as the measurement of the distance. But if you tap the scene a third time, then it removes the previous two dots, and it shows you your brand new dot. And then after all of this is done, after we've removed all the dots from the scene, then we're going to clear this dot nodes array. So dot nodes equals a fresh array of scene nodes. And we're going to initialize it to an empty array. So let's go ahead and run and test. All right, so you might have noticed that our dot removing code worked as expected. And whenever we try to put on a third dot, then our code removes all the previous ones and calculates a new value. Now, the problem though is that our text is being rendered at the same position as the previous text, and the previous text isn't being removed. So let's go ahead and remove the text node every single time we call update text. So to do that, we're going to have to store this text node, not inside here, but at the top of the file. So instead of saying let text node equal this, I'm going to say text node, and I'm going to create it up here. So var text node equals scene node. And whenever we call update text, so that's when we want to display our distance as a 3D text, then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say text node dot remove from parent node. So that clears the previous text, and then we can generate a new one using our code with the latest distance. So let's give it a spin. And there you have it, your very own AR ruler. So you'll be able to measure things in the real world using your brand new app created using ARKit. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Be sure to leave any questions in the Q&A area, and also let me know if there's anything else that you really want us to cover. And if it's really popular, then we'll look into it. So that's all from me, Angela at the London App Brew, and I'll see you on the next lesson.